Hey, good morning, guys. How you guys doing? Hey, today we're going to be learning how to graph functions. So by now you should know what a domain is, which is essentially our input value into the function, which is the same thing as our x value. And you should know what your range is. Your range is your output value, or otherwise known as our y value. So domain and range are our x and y values. So today we're going to be graphing these functions. So let's check it out. Okay, let's solve the function for the given domain. Notice our function is x plus 3y equals 15. The domain that's been given to us is 0, 3, 6, and 9. So the first thing, before I begin graphing, I have to solve the function for y. So let's do that first. So here, we're going to subtract. Let's start by subtracting x from both sides. Minus x minus x. This simply gives us 3y equals negative x. That's a positive 15, therefore plus 15. Okay, next, let's divide everything by 3 so that we can get the y by itself and divide here by 3. And we end up with this equals 1y equals negative x over 3 is simply negative x over 3 plus 15 divided by 3 is 5. So there's our function. Y equals negative x over 3 plus 5. All right, so here's our table. Now, we're going to take our domain. Remember that our domain is also our input values, which are also the same thing as our x values. So let's put them in here. So let's put them in 0, 3, 6, 9. And basically what I'm going to do with these inputs and put them in everywhere I see an x or All right, so let's go and graph these, which is the fun part really, because we've done all the work. So notice my order pairs there on the side. So let's graph the first one, 0 and 5. 3 and 4. 6 and 3. And 9 and 2. And there you have it. All right, let's take a look at one more function. Now I'm going to graph a function using a domain of all real numbers. Awesome. All right, awesome. Not only that, if you notice my function y equals x squared, it's already solved for me. I don't have to do anything to it. I just have to plug in my digits of all real numbers. So when it's asking me to graph a function using all real numbers, I'm going to use negative and positive numbers. Okay, so let's do that right now. Let's go ahead and plug in. Let's see, starting, so we get a good view of the graph, what it looks like. Start with negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2, and 3. All right, that's going to give me a good view of what the graph looks like. And since my domain, this is my domain, my x values, right? I'm going to plug them in anywhere I see an x. Well, simply the equation here, the function is x squared. Well, actually, I shouldn't write that in there since I'm going to put in the values there. So let's go ahead and do that. So that would be negative 3 to the power of 2, negative 2 to the power of 2, or squared, okay? Negative 1 squared, 0 squared, that's going to be a hard one, 1 squared, 2 squared, and 3 squared. It's time to graph, the fun part. Ta-da! My graph just appears like magic. All right, so let's go and do this. Negative 3 and 9, x, negative 3, and that's a positive 9. That's up here. Put a dot there. Negative 2, positive 4. -1, +1, 0, 0, +1, +1, +2, +4, and +3 and +9. Well, look at that. It's making a U. That's called a parabola. Awesome. All right, so now we know how to graph, how to create a table for our function and how to graph our function. Awesome. All right, well, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll see you again on our next Math Quest. Goodbye.